Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard back here with another Wi-Fi battle. Today we have week 3 of the BHDL2, and so that is going to be against Emeraldminer. He is a seasoned Draft League participant, strong competitive battler, YouTuber as well. IGN is going to be Emeraldminer, of course. And so this is our third game here on Scarlet and Violet. Let's take a look and see what he brought to battle. So he's got the Iron Valiant. He's got the Pincurchin. He's got the Hawlucha. He's got the Toxtricity. He's got the Ogerpon Wellspring. And he's got the Heatran. So basically exactly what I was expecting him to bring, give or take a little bit. But the question is, what can we do about it, if anything? So, what do we want to lead with here? I think we have a pretty big decision to make on our hands, actually. This game, I think I actually want to lead with Kilowattrel, purely for the matchup. Hoping this doesn't come back to bite me, because of not leading with Palafin, obviously. I won't immediately get the 0 to hero, but I think leading with Kilowattrel is going to be better. So yeah, we're going to do that, and we'll just see how it goes. So obviously, as I mentioned, this is our third game with Emeraldminer here, so yeah, definitely going to be an uphill battle for us. We're going to see what we can do about it, and hopefully we can make something happen here. So there he is, and he is going to lead with the Ogerpon, as I led with the Kilowattrel. So that's actually pretty good for us, because I think unless this thing has max speed investment, I don't think it outspeeds us. But if he does, he will outspeed us, obviously. So we have a little bit of a choice to make, obviously, right out of the gate. I feel like our best play is probably just to go straight for a Choice Specs Volt Switch, because I don't think he stays in on this matchup. Because we could easily outspeed him and deal some big damage to this thing. So we're going to go for the Volt Switch. That's our play here, and we'll see what he wants to do. He could stay in. If he does outspeed, we might not be able to take an attack from this thing. Or if we can, it's going to do massive damage to us. So indeed, he is going to go for the switch, so that's good. And he is going to switch directly in with the Toxtricity. So we go for the Volt Switch. Going to do quite a lot of damage to this thing, actually, as we are max special attack choice specs, taking that thing down by almost half, which is great damage, and we do get the pivot. Now, we have another choice to make on our hands here. This thing could quite easily have a number of options to take us out. So how do we want to play this here? I think our best play against this thing, because this is his I believe one and only Terra Captain that he brought this week, I think we just go right into Goodra against this thing. I think that's our best play, because we are max HP with an Assault Vest, so we can take pretty much anything this thing wants to go for, including Choice Specs Boom Burst, Terra Normal, which this thing very well could be. So we're going to have a choice to make on our hands here right now. He does have switches, obviously, to the Goodra. I feel like our best course of action here, it could come back to bite us. I feel like he wouldn't switch the Ogerpon in, although obviously if we go for Scald, that's going to be bad news if he does switch the Ogerpon in, but I feel like he doesn't. So I think we just Scald here. We're just going to Scald here. I think that's the play, as he actually does just Volt Switch out. So that does very little chip damage to us. He could be Scarf, actually. So he's got Volt Switch on the Tox. He could potentially be Scarf on that thing, because I think Goodra does naturally outspeed that thing. But he actually does go ahead and switch in with the Heat Ran, which is good news for us. It's got an air balloon. We do get the prediction right and go for the Scald, which does do some good damage to the Heat Ran, and it does break the air balloon, so that's actually huge. And there's no leftovers on the Heat Ran either, which is also huge. So, again, we have a choice to make here. Now that he's seen the Scald, he could switch to the Ogerpon. I don't know what kind of coverage he could potentially be packing on the Ogerpon for us. But I don't know what kind of coverage he could be packing on the Heat Ran either. This is going to be a difficult decision for us. I kind of want to Scald again, so I think I'm going to do just that. We're going to Scald again here and see what he wants to do. He could switch to the Ogerpon. That would be dire, or that would be very bad, but I think it's worth... We have to get more chip, or try to get more chip on the Heat Ran, so I think it's worth the risk, hopefully, as he does switch. So that's unfortunate. Probably does switch to the Ogerpon, and yeah, he does switch to the Ogerpon, so that's bad news. So the Ogerpon's coming in. We go for the Scald, obviously. He gets the prediction right, so it's not going to do anything thanks to the Water Absorb. We basically have to stay in on this thing and Sludge Bomb, because we cannot afford to let this thing set up, so we have to stay in and Sludge Bomb. That's 100% our play right now. No questions asked. We cannot afford, as he goes for the Play Rough. We survive the Play Rough with 10 HP, go for the Sludge Bomb, does a massive damage to this thing, and we get the Poison, which is huge, actually. So, the Poison is huge. He is going to take some damage from the Poison as well, so that's pretty big. We had to take so much damage on the Goodra there, which is really unfortunate. Goodra could have been very useful for some of his Pokemon here, but we really had to. We had no choice. We couldn't risk the setup. So we could try to switch out, but we don't really have the best of switches here to this thing. He could easily switch up moves anticipating the switch. So I feel like we just have to let Goodra go down here. So we just stay in, and I guess we just stay in and click Ice Beam, as he does go for the Ivy Cudgel. So it's a good thing we didn't try to get creative and switch. So we lose Goodra there, which is unfortunate, but it kind of is what it is. As we go down to 5, this thing takes some more poison damage. So this thing can only take one more round of poison damage before it goes down. We have a choice to make as to what we want to switch in. I'm thinking we can go for either the Kilowattrel, or we can go for the Ogerpon of our own. We know basically his full set at this point, so I feel like we could actually probably maybe go into our own Ogerpon. I don't really want to take a big shot, but I feel like this is a tough call, actually. This is a tough call. It's a tough call. I think we probably go Kilowattrel. Yeah, we go Kilowattrel. I think that's the safe play. So we go Kilowattrel. Now he could very easily outspeed us. He probably does switch here, just due to the sheer fact that we could... well, I mean, he could stay in, he could switch. Either way, he can't take another round of poison damage, but the question is, how do we want to play this? So I don't really want to take a big shot on Kilowattrel, obviously, if I don't have to. But I feel like that's really all we can do. So I feel like we just Volt Switch here once again. I think that's our play. So we just Volt Switch, I think. Hopefully he doesn't outspeed us. He does actually switch, so he tries to save the Ogerpon's got one more shot left in it, so he saves the Ogerpon. He switches in with the Pincurchin, gets the Electric Terrain to set that up on the battlefield. As we do go for the Volt Switch, going to do some solid chip damage to the Pincurchin, which is nice, and we do get the Pivot, which is also nice. I think we have a big choice to make right now, and I think what we do in this, we kind of have a little bit of a plan to deal with this thing in the form of the Ogerpon of our own. So I think we actually go into the Ogerpon of our own here. I think that's our play. I feel like that's our play. Although we could, I kind of want to get Stealth Rock up though, because if we can get a hazard up, that Ogerpon goes down on switch in. This is a tough choice, actually. This is a really tough choice. I think we do go Ogerpon. I think Ogerpon's a better play here. So we are going to go Ogerpon against this thing. So we do have the Mold Breaker, which is good. We have a big choice to make on our hands against this thing. We have a couple different options we can use against this thing. We do have the Grassy Terrain on deck specifically to erase the electric terrain. I feel like he probably doesn't switch straight out for fear of taking attack, but I feel like we do go for the Grassy Terrain here. I think that's our play. Or we could Swords Dance. I feel like we go Grassy Terrain. We have to get this terrain off the battlefield here. So I think that's our play. He does stay in. We go for the Grassy Terrain. We're going to go ahead and erase the electric terrain with the grass, which is exactly what we need. This thing is going to go for a spike, so it's going to go ahead and set some hazards up, which is kind of okay, actually. It is going to get some HP back there. But I think at this point, I think we can either Swords Dance or we can Trailblaze. I feel like Trailblaze is the better option because I don't think he stays in here. So I think we Trailblaze. That's the play here, I think. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not. But I think we need to get our speed up to counteract whatever he decides to bring in. He does switch, so that's good. What does he switch in with? He switches in with the Heatran, so that's okay. Heatran comes in. We go for the Trailblaze. It's not going to do much of any damage to this thing, unfortunately. We do get a speed boost, and then this thing is going to get its HP back with the Grassy Terrain. So I think we go, now that Goodra's gone, we don't have the best of switches to the Heatran. We could actually attempt, and this would be incredibly risky, but we could actually attempt to Swords Dance on this thing. It would be incredibly risky. However, I think we actually can live. We are actually HP invested in this thing, so we actually can live pretty much anything. So I kind of actually want to Swords Dance here. This is a really tough decision, but I kind of want to Swords Dance here because I think we can live whatever this Heatran does. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's Swords Dance. We outspeed, we get the Swords Dance. We go to +2. What is he going to do? We're at +2. What does he do? He goes for the Flamethrower. We take it relatively easily, which is nice, and then we're going to get some HP back with Grassy Terrain as well. He's going to get some HP back with Grassy Terrain. This turn, we go for the Ivy Cudgel. Mold Breaker does negate Flash Fire, so if he does have it, we hit him with the Ivy Cudgel. So we definitely go for the Ivy Cudgel this turn. 100% we go for the Ivy Cudgel. So there we go. We get the Ivy Cudgel. It's at +2. It easily takes the Heatran out from that range, knocking him down to 5, which is incredible, as we get some more HP back from the Grassy Terrain. So Ogerpon is, at this point, set up it very well. Now, he's going to go ahead and come in with the Pink Urchin once again, and he's going to go ahead and erase the Grassy Terrain with the Electric Terrain. Now, unfortunately, I do know that this thing, that even if we go Trailblaze here, Hawlucha will easily outspeed us after Unburden. So I think what we have to do here, we have a really difficult decision on our hands to make here, and this is going to be probably one of the most important predictions of this match right now, because he knows we have Grassy Terrain. So if we go for the Grassy Terrain, but he switches first and gets the Unburden, we're going to be in serious trouble. But if we don't go for the Grassy Terrain, we're going to be in even bigger trouble, because he could memento out into the safe switch. So I feel like we have to go for the Grassy Terrain here. I think we have to go for the Grassy Terrain here. As much as I would love to just take this thing out, we go for the Grassy Terrain. And he does switch out, so we get the prediction wrong, unfortunately. And he switches directly into the Hawlucha, which we could have taken we could have taken out, but now he gets the Seed. Yes, this is bad. This is going to thwart our Ogerpon's plans easily. We go for the Grassy Terrain. So we do get the prediction wrong there. It was extremely unfortunate. So yeah, we get the grassy terrain back up, which is something. The Hawlucha is in, which is terrible, obviously. I feel like... What do we do against this thing? It's at +1 defense right now, which is a big problem. We know we can phase him out with Mudsdale if we get Mudsdale in. He could easily go for a setup move here. He could easily go for the acrobatics as well. I think we actually... What we're going to do... This is a really tough decision, actually. But I think we need to be able to safely get Mudsdale in, I think. This is a tough decision, actually. Very tough decision right now. Very tough decision right now, actually. I think we switch... Yeah. We switch in with Glamora. I think that's the play, because we can't take a hit with Mudsdale if he goes for the attack. He very well could be going for the flying attack, trying to take us out. We come in, take the spikes damage with the Glamora. He does go for the bulk up, so that's really unfortunate. So he gets that attack and defense increase, so that is really bad news for us right now. We do get the HP back with the grassy terrain and the black sludge, which is good. I think at this point we definitely try to hit this thing as hard as possible. So I think we sludge wave and try to hit this thing as hard as possible. That's our only play here. We have to try and do that. Hopefully we can take a +1 attack from this thing. We're just going to have to hope we can take a +1 attack from this thing. And we're going to have to see what happens here. He goes for the Drain Punch. We can take it. We survive with about a little bit less than half of our health. That does trigger the Toxic Debris to set the Toxic Spikes up, which is nice. We go for a Sludge Wave. We're max special attack. How much is it doing? Not quite enough to take this thing out, but it does big damage to the Hawlucha, which is exactly what we need. And then we get some HP back with the Black Sludge and the leftovers. So the problem we have now is that he's going to get a ton of HP back from a Drain Punch. We don't have much... aside from Kilowattrel, we don't have anything that really switches into a Drain Punch here. And even at +1, that Drain Punch is going to do a ton of damage. So this is still bad for us. We know we can't take another one with Glamora, which is bad. I feel like this is a tough choice. It's a really tough choice. Really tough choice. Really tough choice. We probably have to stay in here with the Glamora and let it go down. I think that's all we can do. We go for a Mortal Spin. It's not going to matter. He does go Drain Punch and take us out. Oh no, we survive? We actually survive the second Drain Punch as he gets some HP back. I was not expecting to survive. We get the second layer of Toxic Spikes up. I was not at all expecting to survive that attack. We go for the Mortal Spin, which does basically no damage to this thing, but it poisons it. So we actually could have taken the Hawlucha out. I was not expecting... I guess that first Drain Punch was a high roll, but that is insane. So we do get the Mortal Spin to get rid of the spikes, which is good on his side, and poison him in the process. We get HP back. He also takes some damage from the poison. So that is an interesting turn of events, to say the least. I was really not expecting to survive that attack. But unfortunately, we know we can't take another one now, so we're kind of in the same pickle that we were. So yeah, that was definitely a miscalculation on our side. I guess we just have to stay in here. Yeah, that was definitely bad. We just go Sludge Wave here. He does go Acrobatics, just in case we decide to switch. That takes us out, knocks us down to 4. So we're actually not in good shape right now. The only good thing is he takes some more damage from the poison, so the grass is going to go away. Now, we have a really big decision to make on our hands right now. And that big decision is, I think we have to come in with Palafin and try to scare him out with the prospect of a Jet Punch. I think that's what we have to do. Yeah, I think that's what we have to do. So we come in with the Palafin. It's not in hero form. This thing is at +2 defense, mind you. But even so, I think a Jet Punch still takes him out from that range. We're going to have to hope. I feel like he doesn't stay in, though. He probably tries to switch to the Ogre Pawn here. So this is going to be another really critical moment in the game for us. Another really critical moment in the game for us here. Oh, man. If he switches to the Ogre Pawn, gets a bunch of HP back with that thing, that's going to be devastating. So I feel like we're going to have to play incredibly risky right now and switch to the Kilowattrel. I think that's our play. That's our play. We have to do it. He does switch. Okay, so we do get the prediction. Thankfully, we do get this prediction right. He does switch in. He does switch in with this thing, which is incredible. We do get the prediction right. So we switch out, and we go directly into our Kilowattrel, which is incredible. This thing is going to go down to the poison damage this turn, knocking him down to 5. So that is great news for us. So his Ogre Pawn is, I'm sorry, down to 4. The Ogre Pawn is down, and he's down to 4, which is great news for us. So, and we are in with the Kilowattrel, which is great. So now he's going to go ahead and come in with the Toxtricity. He takes some damage, or no, he absorbs the Toxic Spikes, I should say. That was an obvious play that he had to make. I have a feeling this thing is going to be Scarf. I have a big feeling that this thing is going to be Scarf, and he's probably about to go for the Terra Normal Boom Burst, and we really have nothing. We have nothing to take it. We have nothing to take it. We have nothing to take it. So the question is, he's got Hawlucha on its last legs, Pincurchin, Toxtricity, and Pincurchin, Toxtricity, and Iron Valiant. I feel like he definitely Terra Normal Boom Bursts here, but we have nothing to do with it. We have nothing to do here except go for the Volt Switch. So yeah, he actually does just go, he doesn't Terra Normal, he goes Boom Burst, and it's still enough. It's still enough to take us out and knock us down to 3. So that's really unfortunate right there. Very unfortunate. But now the only good news right now is that we can safely go into Palafin, which is what we're going to do. I think this thing's definitely, actually, we know this thing is Scarf because it would not have outsped us otherwise. So Palafin hero form is in. I feel like this thing goes down to Choice Band Jet Punch. He doesn't have the water resistance or immunity anymore, so we have no choice but to just go for the Choice Band Jet Punch. That's exactly what we're going to do right now and hope for the best. That's all we can do. I believe this thing, I hope this thing is within range that this Choice Band Jet Punch can take this thing out. And he doesn't want to risk it, so he does switch. What does he come in with? It is going to be the Hawlucha, so he's going to sack the Hawlucha right now. As Hawlucha comes in, we go for the Jet Punch. That definitely takes out the Hawlucha from that point, knocking him down to 3. So, very intense battle. Very back and forth right now. Very intense battle, very back and forth battle right now. As now he is going to come back in with the Pincurchin. He is going to get the Electric Surge back up, which is a problem, obviously. I feel like we don't stay in on this thing. I feel like I'm going to switch to the Mudsdale here. I think that's our play, is switch to the Mudsdale. It's either switch to the Mudsdale or could be switched to the... I think it's switched to the Mudsdale, though. I think that's our play. He could try to get Hazards back up. We either switch to the Mudsdale or we switch to the Ogre Pawn. I'm not sure which we want to do. This is really tough. This is really tough. I think we switch to the Mudsdale. I think that's the right move. So we're going to switch to the Mudsdale. Because I think if we can get maybe a Stealth Rock up or something, that's going to be beneficial. This thing probably just wants to set hazards. We have no way to remove them. So we do go for the Mudsdale. He does go for spikes, which is not great, but he does get the spikes up. I think we definitely go Stealth Rock here because we want to get our spike. We want to get our hazards up here, so we definitely go for our Stealth Rock. We outspeed, obviously. Stealth Rock incoming. Going to get the Stealth Rock up on him, which is something. And what is he going to want to do in return? He is going to go for the second layer of spikes here. So that's obviously not good. But we are eating electric terrain turns here. Does he go for the third layer of spikes is the real question. Does he go for the third layer of spikes or not? I feel like he might. We could probably take this thing out with an Earthquake, but then we could be in trouble with his last two Pokemon. But even so, I think we probably just have to try to take this thing out with an Earthquake right now. I think we have to try and take this thing out with an Earthquake right now. I think we try to take this thing out with an Earthquake. Yep, we go Earthquake. I think that's the play. He stays in, we go Earthquake. Takes out the Pincurchin, knocks him down to 2. So Pincurchin is down. So he's got 2 Pokemon left. He's got the Iron Valiant, and he's got the Toxtricity that has not Terra'd yet. So he comes now in with the Toxtricity. He takes the Stealth Rock damage. I believe that he is definitely within range at this point. He is definitely within range at this point of Jet Punch from Palafin. The question is, can we take a Boom Burst from... I don't think we take a Boom Burst. Well, actually, you know what? I think we might take a Boom Burst from this thing. But the question is, do we want to, or do we want to switch? Because he still has the Iron Valiant in the back, and based on the rest of his team composition, I'm going to say it's probably a Special Iron Valiant, which is a problem, or mix. I don't think Ogerpon's doing anything for us anymore at this point. So I think we actually probably switch to Ogerpon to sack it. I think that might be the right play here. Or we have 2 choices. We can switch to Ogerpon to sack it, or we can stay in and try to tank a hit. I think we need the Mudsdale. We switch to Ogerpon to sack it, I think, because I think we need the Mudsdale to be more healthy for the Iron Valiant if Palafin can't get the job done against the Iron Valiant. I think that's our play. So now we switch in with the Ogerpon basically as fodder here. We know this thing's Scarf, so he's going to have to Scarf Lock into something. He does go for the Boom Burst. I don't think there's... We actually do take it with 11 HP, which is incredible. I was not expecting that, but we do actually take it. Unfortunately, we know he's going to outspeed us, so it's not going to matter. We're just going to try to go for an Ivy Cudgel, but we know he outspeeds us, and another Boom Burst takes us out and knocks us down to 2. So Ogerpon goes down there, we go down to 2. So we've got 2 Pokemon left. We have the Palafin and the Mudsdale. We 1000% come in with the Palafin right now because this thing is 100% within range that a Choice Band Jet Punch can take it out now. We take the Spikes damage. We 100% go for the Choice Band Jet Punch now. He is saving his Terra. Could his Terra possibly resist the Jet Punch, though? That's the problem. And he is now going to break the Terra out. So this is going to be the moment of truth. What is his Terra going to be? Terra Dark. So that's interesting. Terra Dark on the Pokemon. As we go for the Jet Punch, it still is enough to take the Toxtricity down and knock him down to just 1 Pokemon. So the Terra Dark on the Toxtricity did not matter. Thankfully, it was not a Terra that resisted water. So his last Pokemon here is going to be the Iron Valiant. It comes in. What stat is going to get boosted? It does take Stealth Rock damage, which is incredible. It's going to have Quirk Drive to boost its speed. So that is completely fine because of the fact that we are not going to outspeed this thing anyway. How many more turns does he have? The electric terrain still has 2 turns left, unfortunately. So we just have to go for Choice Band Jet Punch here and hope for the best. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We go for the Choice Band Jet Punch. Is it enough? No, it is not enough. He goes for the Spirit Break in return. Can we take it? Yes, Palafin takes the Spirit Break easily. This thing is going to take some Life Orb recoil damage, and that is going to leave him in prime position for... Actually, he goes for the Shadow Sneak instead, but we can still take it with 47 HP. He takes some more Life Orb damage. He hangs on, but we go for the Jet Punch, and it is more than enough from that range to take the Iron Valiant down. And that is game. Alright, so we are going to win that one 2-0 against Emeraldminer. That was a great match. Very close, very competitive, high octane, high drama game right there. Very back and forth. But in the end, Palafin comes to our rescue and secures the victory for the Philadelphia Pidgeys. Incredible match, though, as we are going to back out here. And with that, the Philadelphia Pidgeys are going to climb up to a 2-1 record here in the BHDL2. That was an incredible match, extremely hard fought on both sides, but as you guys know, I am going to reserve my full analysis of the game for the weekly recap and preview video coming your way in a little bit here. So, but that's it. Thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new battles in the future. So, that's it, and we'll see you next time.